Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to see how can we design scalable revenue strategies using tier-based adjustments available into Agentforce Revenue Management. So quickly looking at the agenda, first of all, we are going to see what is tier-based adjustment. Post that we are going to see a use case of it. Then we'll review the configuration, how the configuration has been done for the use case. And at last, we are going to review which ARM components we have used to fulfill this use case using tier-based adjustment. Now, what is tier-based adjustment? So, in general pricing term, tier refers to the range defined in the system. A tier-based adjustment means the price per unit decreases as the customer buys more. It's designed to encourage larger purchase and higher rewards. It provides different price point to different quantity range. This offers more granular control over the pricing, as the price per unit can change multiple times within the single purchase. Now let's see the use case. Salesforce offers Agentforce revenue management licenses using a tier-based pricing model where the unit price per license decreases as the quantity purchased increases. Discounts will be applied based on the cumulative tier corresponding to the total quantity purchased. And here is the table of rate. So if you purchase, let's say, licenses between 1 to 50, the price will be $100 as a base rate. When you go and purchase 51 to 200, then the price gets decreased by 10%, and 201 onward 20% discount will be applied, so the product will be available on $80 per unit price. Now how this is different from volume based discount? So in volume based discount, let's say you added quantity as 51, all 51 licenses will be charged as $90 per unit. But over here in tier based adjustment with the cumulative tiers, it's different. So if you have purchased 51 quantity, then first 50 quantity or first 50 licenses will be charged for $100, and following that a single unit will be charged as $90 per unit. So this is how volume based discount is different than cumulative tier. So let's review the configuration. So I am on a quote, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on browse catalog, and I am adding Agentforce revenue management to the quote. I'll click on save quote, and we'll be having a quote line available over here soon. So the quote is saved and we can see a quote line getting added over here with quantity 1 at unit price of 100. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 55 quantity over here. So what happens is first 50 quantity will be charged as $100 per unit, and next 5 will be charged as $90 per unit, which will become 5,450. Now let's say if I make 205 as a quantity, then the first 50 quantity will be charged as $100 per unit, then $90 per unit for next 150 quantity, and 5 quantity will be charged as $80 per unit. Now let's just check it out. $50, 100, so 50 quantity, $100 plus 150 quantity at $90 plus 5 quantity is $80 per unit, which becomes 18,900, and the same price is coming over here. Now let's look at how the tiers have been set up. So I will go over here where we have defined price adjustment schedule with name SFDC learning adjustment schedule, which is active. It is effective starting 1st of October with currency ISO code as USD, schedule type as volume, and price book as standard price book. If I go to related list, we can see that we have defined several tiers like 1 to 50, 0% adjustment, 51 onwards to 200 quantity, 10% adjustment, and 201 onwards till n quantity, it is $20 discount or adjustment. All related to product called Agentforce revenue management, and for the selling model monthly term defined. Now once you are done with that, what you have to do is you have to go to a lookup table. You will find a tab called lookup table, from where you can come to this tier adjustment entries, and you can just click refresh. As soon as you refresh it, you will see the records getting created over here. You won't see any record right now because I've already configured this. But if this is blank and you are setting it for the very first time, you have to come over here. It will be blank. You'll refresh it and your data will come up. So this is the setup that we have to do before going into pricing procedure. Now let's look at the pricing procedure. So I'm in the pricing procedure where I have defined pricing element called price setting, list price, proration, and subscription pricing. So these elements we have already covered in my previous video, which is one time versus recurring one. If you want to see, you can just go to my channel and search for one time versus recurring pricing, and you will be able to know like how this components of pricing element works. I'm not going into deep on that. I'm just going to tier discount. So in tier discount element, if you first of all, if you want to add any element, you can just come over here and select that. Once that's been done, you will have to select the lookup table detail, and I have selected tier adjustment entry. Then you will have to go to input variables and provide the variables to this decision table as an input. So tier adjustment schedule ID, that's a constant, and I have already created that constant with the ID of the adjustment schedule that we have seen a couple of minutes back. So first of all, I'm going to supply that so that the system will understand from which table I want to get the data. The second argument was product. So I've supplied the product selling model as well, effective from. So these are the line item fields that I have supplied, and currency ISO code as well. We'll go to input variables over here, and input variables are the actual one which are referred by Salesforce pricing engine, and based on that it will calculate the price. So Salesforce pricing engine will require the quantity field, unit price field, and the other fields like tier type, tier value, lower bound field, upper bound field to calculate the prices based on the tiers defined. So in quantity we are passing line item quantity. In input unit price we are passing net unit price, and there are several constant available over here into tier type, tier value, lower bound, and upper bound. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what those fields are or what those constants are storing. So constant tier type tier adjustment, constant tier type tier adjustment, which stores the tier type field. This will be storing the tier value field. So let me just show you that as well. Probably this is a tier type, tier value. Okay. So tier value, tier adjustment, it is storing tier value field. Then there is something called lower bound and upper bound. So if I go to upper bound, it is an API name of the upper bound field. And in the case of lower bound, it will be the API name of the lower bound field. Once we are done with this, we should go to output variable and we'll have to map net unit price to the net unit price field. That means whatever net unit price is returned by Salesforce, we are storing into net unit price field on the quote line. And the subtotal field returned from Salesforce pricing engine, which will actually store the total price, it will be stored into item net total price field of the quote line. So this is how you can set up adjustments based on the tiers using Agentforce revenue management. Now let's look at the component that's being used. So object components, that means we have created the record for these objects: product selling model option, price book entry, price adjustment schedule, and price adjustment tier, and definition and more. That means we have used context definition and procedure, and under which we have utilized this pricing element, which is price setting, list price, proration. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please like and share the content and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you very much.